My grandma has been battling dementia for a few years now. I'm gonna try to keep it together for this. Basically, found out that she has reached the end stage of dementia, and she doesn't have like very long left. I went to Florida yesterday. Flew to Florida yesterday to see her one last time, you know.
So if you didn't know, popular Roblox YouTuber KreekCraft made a post recently on YouTube about 4 days ago talking about how his grandmother had recently passed away due to her developing and worsening stages of dementia that she had been suffering through for years now. Now, a couple of days before KreekCraft actually made this post talking about the passing of his grandma, he had basically gone on stream and stated how her dementia had gotten to the point where she wasn't eating or drinking anymore. So she essentially got scanned and had tests done, and the doctors concluded that she didn't have long left to live, like a couple days at most. So KreekCraft was essentially expecting the inevitable phone call that he would have to receive regarding the passing of his grandmother. And while KreekCraft was essentially being upfront with his viewers about the entire situation, because keep in mind, KreekCraft's grandma was someone who was very near and dear to him in his life, he essentially almost understandably started crying on stream. However, he still managed to maintain his composure. Now, not long after this stream where he told his viewers about the entire situation, essentially 1 week later, KreekCraft makes a post stating, "Sorry for not streaming much this week. A few years ago my grandma was diagnosed with dementia and unfortunately passed away earlier this week after her dementia started rapidly progressing. It's been a tough week for the family and I spent as much time as possible in Florida being with family and at the funeral. Stream should return this weekend, but I just wanted to update everyone on what's going on. Much love as always." Now obviously this post was received with mainly positive reception as people were flooding in giving their condolences regarding this entire situation. However, the Roblox community as of recent has become exceedingly degenerate and hostile, where we have seen specific situations where, for example, Make-A-Wish children who've suffered from horrific diseases such as cancer and cystic fibrosis were quite literally doxxed and harassed merely because they received Make-A-Wish custom items from Roblox. That's right, kids and degenerates were so mad that these people had suffered through horrific illnesses received custom items from Roblox that they actually went out of their way to go and attack them. Well, the same sort of scenario with that entire situation is playing out once again, unfortunately, with KreekCraft, where tons of kids, insensitive people, trolls, and sadists have started making disgusting comments under KreekCraft's posts, where he shares the story about the passing of his loved one, his being his grandma, where these kids can be seen making comments like "womp womp" and "who cares," and other kids can be seen making extremely tone-deaf comments like "she ran out of hit points," and "she should have used the chug jug," and "dementia wins," you know, just really embarrassing and pathetic comments. Even more comments continue with people making jokes about her dementia, and keep in mind, dementia is a horrible, horrible illness, and a family member of mine suffered and passed away from dementia. They completely forgot who I was when I met them, and they completely forgot who everyone else was as well, and it quite literally destroys the brain and ruins any cognitivity you have left. It's a terrible thing to suffer through. But to all of these people, dying to such a horrible illness is just viewed as some kind of joke. Others state how it is a quote-unquote skill issue as well, but what I'll conjugate into extremely sadistic people are the type of people who find joy in other people's suffering and anguish, and find unironic and genuine joy and comedy out of KreekCraft's grandmother who died. Like, you could just see all these comments I'm showing up, they're utterly disgusting. And it isn't just one comment as well, it isn't just some isolated incident. These kind of disgusting sadistic comments are repeated over and over and over again. Now, I can't personally imagine being an iPad kid and booting up YouTube just to comment making fun of a grandma who just died to a horrific disease. Like, seriously, what did KreekCraft actually even do to justify this level of hate and degeneracy aimed at him? Even if you don't like his content, there isn't any legitimate grounds to suddenly cheer when a loved one of his literally dies, because you never know when it could personally happen to you. KreekCraft is literally like one of the most uncontroversial and pure Roblox YouTubers on the platform. I don't really understand understand how people even find him unlikable whatsoever. Yes, people can find him cringe, but like, why do people have some like personal vendetta against him and hate him? And this whole situation as well just reminds me of the sadistic weirdos who made fun of Jacksepticeye when his father passed away, or Markiplier when his niece died in a car crash, or even recently with Dan TDM and the passing of his dog Ellie. I mean, when it comes to the internet, especially the Roblox community now, you can only assume the worst when it comes to this kind of stuff. These kids are inevitably going to mock and get some sadistic joy out of making fun of someone else's misery, and in this situation, death. I mean, we're seeing in real time people making disrespectful, pathetic videos stating how KreekCraft's grandmother quote-unquote deserved it, and really just milking the situation to high hell on their channel. It's just really pathetic, degenerate stuff. And I just want to make this video to publicly disavow this behavior, and to continue to document the everlasting degeneracy the Roblox community has to these situations. Hopefully we can also report the comments and the videos mocking the death of a grandmother who died to dementia, and perhaps we can clear up the Roblox community little by little. Obviously this video as well is not monetized, and there will be either a fundraiser or a dementia research charity link provided, or both, if anyone wants to help the cause. But obviously this video is not intended for hate, harassment, or cyberbullying. This is just an educational video going over the entire situation as a whole, and I just want to finally end off this video with a clip of what KreekCraft said, because it really does just fit well into this situation, because he's literally had to deal with degenerates like these people before.
Like, how much of a pathetic bag of turd do you have to be that is entirely your life? You literally sit there at your computer all day long. Your mom doesn't love you, your dad left you, your grandma doesn't love you, and you're gonna grow up to be Adam Sandler.